what should my intro be? You're bad with money.
That was just I thought there was going to be more after that.
Yo, what's up guys? It's Gray here. Welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about why 50-30-20 doesn't work anymore. But first, what is 50-30-20? So it's basically a budgeting ideal, a principle, to where 50% of the money that comes in goes towards needs, 30% towards wants, and 20% towards saving and investing. And while this may have worked at some point when cost of living was lower, inflation was lower, and incomes actually made sense, there's a couple reasons why it doesn't work anymore. And I'm going to go into that in today's video. So the first category is going to be inflation. So when it comes to high cost of living, inflation, everything being just more expensive in general, things like healthcare, housing, food, groceries, all that kind of stuff, the pricing for transportation and cars and car insurance, all of that is just skyrocketing. So if you have like a moderate income of like $50,000 a year, which is about $4,000 before taxes, just to keep the numbers easy, that means with everything in this budget, you would need to keep everything that you need to survive under 50%. So your rent, food, transportation, all insurance, any shopping, anything has to be below $2,000 or at $2,000. So if you're even in just a high cost of living area, sometimes you can't even find rent for cheaper than $2,000. One thing it doesn't take into account, which brings us to our second point, is debt and major savings goals. So look at it from two angles. Either if it's a major savings goal, so you're saving for a house, maybe a college fund, if you're building up that emergency fund. If we're looking at specifically just that $50,000 income, $800 a month, if you're trying to save up 20% as a down payment, or really just for any big goal, maybe buying a car, whatever it might be, saving up any substantial amount is going to take you a long time. And on top of that, debt. Most Americans have student loans, credit cards, car loans, and other financial burdens that they have to pay off. And with this, it doesn't allow for that because you definitely can't fit it into the 50% needs, and it's going to cut into the wants if you're still trying to save and invest. At the end of the day, it doesn't really give enough flexibility to those with actual debt that they're trying to pay down. It also doesn't give enough focus to it because when you're actually trying to pay off debt, you shouldn't have 30% of your money or $1,200 towards wants, but this rule dictates that it has to be this way. For example, you have a $10,000 credit card balance and you're trying to pay that off. With this rule, instead of saving the $800, let's say you put that $800 towards the credit card. That would probably cover any interest and your minimum monthly payment. It would take you 12.5 months to pay that off, and you're still spending $1,200 a month. However, if you just put the whole $1,200 and the extra $800, that's $2,000, you could actually have this paid off in half the time. Actually, more than that. This also means that you haven't been saving anything, and you also haven't been paying off any other debt, like at all. If you have anything else, a car note, if you have any student loans, another credit card, anything that you might have, that's just on hold right now while you're trying to pay off this $10,000 balance. And for some reason, you're still spending $1,200 on eating out, going to movies, hanging out with friends, whatever your fun money or your want money is, that's what it's going towards instead of actually paying off the debt. And then the last thing that the 50-30-20 rule doesn't really take into account is that one size doesn't fit all. This might work. This might work if you make $100,000 a year, 50% towards needs, 30% towards wants, and 20% towards saving and investing. That might make sense if you have a high enough income in a moderate area and you have no debt. That might be one of the few situations where this actually makes sense. But for a normal person, just a normal single person or just somebody on one or two incomes, if you're trying to find a good, proper budget to live off of, this might not be the actual route for you. Every situation is different. The cost of living varies from place to place. Priorities vary and situations vary. So if you are in debt, if you're trying to save up for a big goal, this just is not going to be the route. A rigid 50-30-20 budget does not work for everyone. So customizing a budget specific to your needs will actually go a lot farther. So customizing a budget to your specific needs, some good rules of thumb: keeping your rent below 25%, paying off all your debt as soon as humanly possible, putting everything you can towards it, and then building up an emergency fund. It is an emergency to not have that emergency fund. Once you have it, then you can kind of start looking at percents, making sure you're investing a decent amount and building up that retirement and those investment accounts, and then just live your life. Spend money extravagantly on the things you love and cut costs mercilessly on the things that you don't. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you have enjoyed, drop a like and comment down below what I should talk about next. And hey, consider subscribing down below if you found this video useful. We're currently at 362 subscribers, and the last time I mentioned that in a video, we gained like 20, which was pretty cool. So definitely consider subscribing down below, and I'll see you on the next one. Adios.